Today we're looking at the pens and inks I'm going to be using in August 2026. In terms of my work, it's a fairly practical month with rehearsals and teaching and that kind of thing. So a lot of the pens are chosen with that kind of purpose in mind. Before we look at the pens and inks I'm using, please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button and consider becoming a member of this channel, where for a small monthly fee, you'll get early access to my videos and some things like priority comments. So let's check out the pens and inks I'm really looking forward to using this month. Okay, let's dive right in and we'll start with this one. This is the Dupont, I think it's the Ellipses, which is a really interesting pen from I think the early 2000s. I picked it up locally fairly sort of affordably and I find it a very interesting pen. So let's start this currently inked for August 2026 with the Dupont Ellipses with a medium nib, and the ink in this is one of my absolute favorite inks, the Octopus Fluids Fountain Fader collaboration. Sheet Vetter or Bad Weather. I adore this ink. I have shown it a number of times on my channel. I think it's brilliant and it writes very nicely in this pen. It's not the wettest pen, but it allows for like a nice shading and a nice sort of depth of color on that ink. Next, I'm going to lump three practical pens together. Firstly, the traditional wingback stainless steel fountain pen. If this is a pen you are interested in or a brand you're interested in, use the link in my video description to get a little discount. But this is my probably my number one go-to everyday carry pen. Let's put FP for fountain pen with a medium steel nib, and the ink in this is once again my absolute favorite, Diamine Oxford Blue. It's just such a beautiful blue, yeah, I've been using it in this pen nonstop, and I won't be stopping anytime soon. This pen is I don't know how to put it. It's a little jewel in my little everyday setup. Next is another recent addition. It is the Pilot Custom. So this pen is a vintage pen. This is from the 70s. I believe. I haven't actually looked at the nib for the number yet. I picked this up from a Japanese website. JP Fans helped me get it, which is a website that like a proxy shipping site. Once again, use the link in the video description to get a little discount, those kinds of things. But the Pilot Custom was like the original Pilot Custom. So, you know, not the 823 or the 845 or the Iroshizuku or anything like that. This is the Pilot Custom. This is from the K series. It's just called the Custom. And this is the stripe or the black stripe version, depending on what you get. It's got a lovely gold extra fine nib and a very simple Pilot Black cartridge. I'm still working through the first cartridge I put in this pen. And it's going very well. I will then wash that one out and reuse that because as it is an older pen, it didn't come with a converter or anything like that. But Pilot Black's also pretty sturdy ink. This pen writes pretty dry. I'll be doing a full review of it probably next month. It writes pretty dry, but in a pen like this, that's kind of what I want because I'm not writing on, this is Midori paper, beautiful Midori paper, but I'm not always writing on beautiful Midori paper. Sometimes you write on bad paper, and a dry pen can actually be an advantage in that situation, and that's why I like this and things like my vintage Pilot Elite. And eventually I'd love to get one of those Pilot new pens for the exact same purpose. And another Pilot, but a modern Pilot, we've got the capless or vanishing point here in the matte black. This is an actual Pilot one, not a Jinhao or Moonman. So it's got the gold nib and all that. I like to call it the vanishing point. I think it's a more whimsical name. And when I purchased this, they were called, in Australia, they were called the vanishing point, not the capless, I believe. So it has a fine nib on it, and Pilot blue black ink, which is a really lovely pen ink for this pen. And this pen primarily sits in my teaching folio because it's very easy. Like you set it up on the piano as you're teaching, you're playing, you need to make a note. It's just easy to grab it, click it, write the note, click it away, no capping, nothing, single hand use. That for me is the advantage of this pen. It's not a pen I do, long writing sessions with or anything like that. It's just a good everyday writer for those moments where single hand use, away you go, click it and it's done. Perfect pen for that. I'm going to take a tiny little break away from fountain pens just for a moment to talk about the Anto Design pens. These are a ballpoint rollerball sort of pen that you can use multiple refills with, and I've got 2 of them here that I've been using. So basically you just begin the unscrewing of the collet there, and then you take your refill, or whichever refill you want that will fit in it, and you put it in there, and as long as the tip comes through into there and the shoulders sort of fit in there, and then you can just screw that down using the cap as part of the tool. And as that collet screws down tight, it grips around the front of the refill. It's great. I made a little video about them, but I've been using these 2 pretty solidly. So this is the Pen N. And we have both the metal version here and the wooden version here. Watch out for a review of these. And this one just has a zebra refill in it. I can't remember the exact refill, but I've been using it sort of non-stop. I really enjoy it. And then I've got the wooden one here, which I put a ballpoint in. Show you on there. Anto Design Pen N. And this one just has a Bic Click Gold refill taken from one of those. I like ballpoint pens. I never shy away from that. So to have pens like these where you can change the refills and it's sort of universal, it's kind of fun. There's something about this pen that makes it really lovely to sort of write with, and the magnetic caps are fun. And yeah, so those are also in my arsenal for this month. Then we get a couple of Gravitas pens. So the VAC 2.0 here, which has the traditional Gravitas, the new, I should say, Gravitas nib on it. This has a fine nib, and the ink in this is Pilot. Up a little bit. Iroshizuku Sioro, which is a beautiful ink. I really enjoy it a lot. I've always enjoyed this ink. It was probably one of my first favorite of the Iroshizuku inks. I think Kujaku probably pushed past it, but I really like this, and I like it in this pen. So this is Ultim, so it's actually yellow, but with that ink in there, it sort of turns a nice sort of cool greeny blue, which I think is very, very nice. And at a distance, you don't even notice the material there. You just see a sort of a black pen. It's a very sharp pen. It's got a very nice nib on it. I enjoy it a lot. And then the next Gravitas that I have here is the original VAC. But I have changed the nib on this one. This one has a special nib on it. So this is the Gravitas pens. This is the VAC. So the ultimate VAC was made of Ultim. This is the polycarbonate version. And on this I have a Jinhao stacked nib, which has been tuned and refitted to fit a Yovo nib housing by Incision Works here in Australia, in Sydney. Daniel over there does an amazing job. So stack nib, if you're not familiar with it, I've made videos about a couple of these. You've got like a layer of, a second layer of nib added onto the top, which means that you can have like a huge amount of tipping material and get like huge lines. So not just like, you know, a gushing wet writer like this is, but you end up with like good line variation, not like super, you know, precise. The higher angle gives you a narrower line. So you get good line variation. And in this pen, like, you can see it puts out a lot of ink. So you needed a pen with a big ink capacity, and that's why I chose to put it in the back, because, you know, it's got a solid ink capacity, and, you know, it keeps up well. It writes nicely. A little bit of a skip there, but, you know, not everything is perfect. It's not the nib that was designed for this pen. So, but I think it's really, really cool. And this is, I should say, the ink, of course, is Pilot. Iroshizuku Rika. The purpose of this pen in my setup is not practical, obviously. The purpose of this pen is just for me to have fun and enjoy using a beautiful ink that I love in a pen that writes absolutely gloriously. Yeah, great bits of sheen on all of it here. It's really, really fantastic. And now we're down to the final two pens, one slightly more practical, the Andhand method, which I have also reviewed. This is a really solid, method, a really solid sort of, not even an everyday writer, but like a nice sort of carry pen because it's solid. And I enjoy it. I like how it writes. And the ink in this is Diamine Merlot. I think this is an interesting ink, and in this pen it writes very nicely. It dries quite interestingly, sort of browny sort of color, but I like it. And I like it in this pen, and this pen has always been a joy to write with. I put the clip on. This is a Kaweco clip. It doesn't come with a clip, but that makes it a little more practical for me to put in my things like my jeans pocket. And that capping mechanism on this pen is super strong and tight. And yeah, so it's got a nice sort of Schmidt-made nib on it. I really enjoy that. So really wonderful. And then lastly, the Moonman P140 with the Moonman Panda nib, which I bought separately and put on there. So Moon or Marjon P140 with the Panda fine nib. So it's just their number 8 nib. I just bought the nib separately, put it on the feed that came with the pen, all of that. And the ink in this today is Anderillium Moray Eel Green. Fast becoming one of my favorite inks. This Panda nib, it's smooth, but I wouldn't say it's like the smoothest nib. There's like a little bit of feedback on it, but what it does allow is for just that little bit of bounce. It's quite a sort of a soft, it's not flex, it's not soft, it's just like a bounce, a suspension that allows for some really lovely shading because you put down a little bit more ink, and where that shades heavily, we just get the beautiful characteristics of this fantastic ink. And so this is the second time I've filled this pen now with this ink. I just think it is brilliant. I have been writing kind of non-stop. It's probably been, I would probably say, except for the everyday carry pens, for the last maybe 2 and a bit months, this would easily be the most used pen in my collection. I really enjoy it. So that is my currently inked for August of 2026. We've got the Dupont Ellipses with Octopus Fluids Fountain Fader, Sheet Vetter. Then you've got the Wingback stainless steel fountain pen with Diamine Oxo Blue, Pilot Custom, the vintage one there with Pilot Black, Pilot Vanishing Point with Pilot Blue Black, Anto Design with the Zebra gel refill, and then the Anto Design with the Bic ballpoint refill, the Gravitas pens 2.0 with Pilot Iroshizuku Syoto, the Gravitas VAC, original VAC, with the Jinhouse stacked nib from Incision Works with Pilot Iroshizuku Rika. Then we've got the Andhand method with Diamine Merlot, and the Marjon P140 with Anderillium Moray Eel Green. Definitely variety, definitely lots to write with, and both practical and fun. So thank you for watching. I hope you found that interesting and useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, and consider becoming a member of this channel. Please leave a comment with what you're writing with this month. I always love seeing what you wonderful people out in YouTube land are writing with, and I always get little bits of ideas for inks and pens and pairings and things that I may not have thought of. So thank you so much for that, and until next time, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.